Hello and welcome to another informational video from All Things Foxes.
All things foxes. This is all things foxes.
I'm your host, Chad Fox. The topic for this broadcast is what do foxes eat? Foxes are omnivores that eat a variety of small game mammals, fish, birds, reptiles, insects, fruits, vegetables, rodents, quail, duck, lemmings, worms, grubs, crickets, frogs, berries, wild grasses, and mushrooms, and much more. When wild animal food sources are scarce, a fox will sometimes only make a kill once or twice a week, so it must rely on other sources of food besides meat, such as insects and vegetation. In the fall and summer months, foxes who live in warmer climates feed on wild berries, nuts, and grasses. In northern parts of the world where the Arctic fox lives, lemmings and rodents are the main meat source. Foxes are opportunistic and will often feed on carcasses left behind by other animals, known as carrion. Foxes that live in captivity have a diet that mimics their prey from the wild: quail and eggs and a balanced mix of tendons and meat. The fox is a complex animal that has adapted very well to its surroundings. While foxes in the wild have short lifespans compared to some other animals, they have figured out their role in nature. Arctic foxes have adapted particularly well to the harsh cold conditions of the Arctic tundra, figuring out how to hunt in the snow as well as how to forage for vegetation in their natural environments. Red foxes are another fox that has adapted extremely well to the environments where they thrive. Red foxes live on multiple continents and are the most widely dispersed species of fox. Their diet consists of a variety of small game and vegetation. They sit not at the very top, but within the top animals of the food chain. They prey on things like mice and birds and other small mammals and even fish. Foxes are also preyed upon by other predators higher up in the food chain. This makes them a link in the circle of life that keeps the world in sync with nature. Fox biology. Just like many other animals, foxes eat from multiple food sources. They have the bone structures of other vertebrate-type animals. Are foxes carnivores? Foxes eat meat, so they are carnivorous. However, they also eat fruit and vegetables, as well as insects and reptiles. Their digestion process is similar to humans, both being mammals and omnivores. Food goes into the mouth where they have sharp canine teeth that rip the food into pieces. Then it travels down the esophagus to the stomach where chemicals break down the food into liquids. After that, it passes into the small intestine where nutrients are absorbed. Next, it enters the large intestine where more absorption takes place, turning it into feces when it is then passed out of the body as a stool or scat. The fox's stomach and digestion process wrap the bones and the undigested fibers and hairs and feathers in a twisting pattern that makes their scat pointed on the ends when it comes out. This keeps the bones from hurting their internal organs by containing them in the fibers. What not to feed foxes? You should avoid feeding foxes avocados, caffeine, chocolate, grapes and raisins, onions, garlic, and chives, and pits and seeds from apples, cherries, and peaches. One rule of thumb of what not to feed a fox is that if it's bad for a dog or a cat, then you should probably keep it away from foxes. Territories and local food sources. What a fox eats depends mostly on the territory or region where it lives. We have broken down a couple of regions as well as their local food sources. North America. The northern part of the Americas is home to red foxes, Arctic foxes, and gray foxes. The local food sources in North America are as follows. The Arctic tundra. Foxes live in the Arctic and have a very different diet than foxes in the mainlands. Arctic foxes live in the treeless portion of the Arctic and feed mostly on lemmings, rodents, and fish. They are scavengers who feed on carcasses left behind by other animals such as polar bears. Arctic foxes will forage for vegetation that grows in the harsh winter conditions, and even has been known to covenant areas that have vegetation, almost as if they were garden caretakers. Pretty cool, huh? Red foxes, who live in both the Arctic and in the mainlands of North America, feed on a variety of small game mammals such as mice, rabbits, and birds. Foxes in North America that live in bushy areas and grasslands feed on vegetation like roots, wild grasses, nuts, and berries. The mainland parts of North America have a diverse food supply of small mammals, vegetation, and fruits. South America. There are a couple species of foxes that live in South America, such as Darwin's fox, and yes, Darwin discovered a species of fox, pretty cool, as well as the Colpeo fox, also called the Zorro fox. Zorro is another word for fox in Spanish. South America has a warmer climate, so their food sources are a little different than northern foxes. They eat primarily hares and rabbits, birds, insects, and lizards. Africa. There are a few different species in Africa. The most common is the red fox. Africa is also home to the fennec fox and bat-eared fox, and multiple other desert foxes. Africa is a very diverse region with grasslands, bushlands, deserts, and more. Red foxes in Africa feed on things like rabbits, rodents, and birds. They also eat berries, wild grasses, and roots. Fennec foxes and bat-eared foxes have similar diets. They mainly live in the desert region and feed mostly on rodents and insects, like ants, termites, scorpions, and more. They also eat a variety of birds, small mammals, reptiles, and lizards. Asia. Foxes in Asia have a diet similar to foxes that live in Africa and Arabia. Asia is home to the Blandford's fox and the Corsic fox. These foxes eat a variety of small rodents, lizards, birds, and more. A species of red fox also lives in Japan, where they have populated and adapted very well. Japan calls foxes kitsunes, and have many legends and folklore that surround the mysterious creature. A study done there in a national park revealed that foxes feed mostly on human-produced food and salmon carcasses from spawning salmon. Fox species and what they eat. Here is a brief list of 3 fox species and what they eat. What they eat also depends on the region where they live, as mentioned. The species are red fox, Arctic fox, and fennec fox. What do red foxes eat? Red foxes eat a variety of small game mammals such as rodents, rabbits, and birds. They also eat a mixture of fruits, berries, and vegetation such as roots, wild grasses, and nuts. What do fennec foxes eat? Fennec foxes live in the desert regions of Africa and eat primarily insects, rodents, and lizards. They have huge ears that aid them in listening to their prey underground, catching things like mice and lizards. They also eat a variety of desert plants and berries. What do Arctic foxes eat? Arctic foxes eat mainly lemmings, rodents, and fish, as well as foraged vegetation such as roots and winter plants. They are opportunistic feeders and will also scavenge for kills left behind by other carnivores such as polar bears. How foxes hunt. When wild game is in a shortage, foxes will only kill once or twice per week, which is one reason foxes do not live very long in the wild. It is tough in the wild for foxes. They themselves are a food source for multiple predators. Foxes are nocturnal. They hunt mostly at night and are solitary hunters. They do not hunt in packs like wolves. They are very careful and clever to avoid other predators that also hunt during the nighttime. The fox has a very unique hunting style, similar to cats. They will hide and wait for long periods of time for their prey to show themselves, and then leap or jump down onto them, killing them usually with a death blow or bite to the neck. This makes them different from other canid relatives such as wild dogs, who can be very loud when hunting, biting the prey and then shaking them in their mouths from left to right. Red foxes have been known to bury their kills and save them for later, sometimes even digging them up multiple times and reburying them just to make sure that they're still there. They also use chemical communication by marking the areas with urine so they can find them later, or let other foxes in their family return to feed, marking it as a hunting ground. How do Arctic foxes hunt? Foxes in the Arctic also have a peculiar skill set for hunting. They are able to pounce down into the snow and strike their prey, which is usually rodents or lemmings, without even seeing them. They use the Earth's magnetic fields to triangulate their prey before striking them with the death blow. Pretty cool, huh? Foxes are basically scientists. What do baby foxes eat? Baby foxes are called kits or pups. After they are born, kits do not open their eyes for about 12 days. The kits' parents will feed them by regurgitating food into their mouths. Once they are a couple weeks old, the parents will leave carcasses at the front of the den for them to discover, so they will get familiar with the den opening. By doing this, the kits learn how to fend for themselves and feed. Baby foxes eat primarily regurgitated prey from their parents or other female foxes who hang around to help raise the young. After this early stage, they learn to forage for food by going out with their parents. Depending on the time of year, they eat nuts, fruits, and rodents. After that period of time, they also become adept at hunting. What do urban foxes eat? Urban foxes feed on small game mammals like squirrels, rabbits, and rodents. They also feed from waste bins and trash cans and will eat out of people's gardens. In London, where urban foxes have made themselves right at home, residents will often feed foxes from their gardens. They have also been known to steal food placed out for pets like cat food and dog food. Feeding foxes from a garden is probably an okay thing to do since they are getting the fresh vegetables and fruit that they need, but leaving the wrong kinds of cat food or dog food out for them is generally a bad idea. Certain types of cat food can be fattening and made from ingredients that could be bad for foxes, like grains. While dog food offers them fiber and nutrition, it is still not advisable to train a wild fox to rely on humans as their main food source. They need to rely on their hunting skills for their own food sources while they move in and out of the wild through the neighborhoods. What do pet foxes eat? Pet foxes eat a variety of full prey mottled raw meats, such as rabbit, duck, and quail. They need formulated amounts of tendons and muscles. A fox diet is 70 to 80% muscle meat, 10% raw edible bone, 5% liver, and 5% secreting organs, and less than 5% of animal-based fiber. This type of diet can also combine fur and fibers as well as feathers to simulate their natural prey. Foxes have a unique digestive system where the bones that they eat are twisted around by the hair and fibers as it turns into feces, keeping the bone from puncturing their insides. A pet fox must also have a supplement only found in wild animals called taurine. You can buy the supplement and add it to their food. Some pet fox owners that I have interviewed say that they actually feed their dogs grain-free dog food and some types of cat food. However, we suggest the full prey model diet. A raw diet. The main benefits is that a raw diet eliminates processed foods. Raw prey diets are the most natural way to feed a pet. Some people have tried to argue that it is not okay to feed pets raw meats, but they are missing one important fact. These were once wild animals, and believe it or not, they didn't have Purina dog chow in the wild. It is not only safe but healthier as long as you stick to the guidelines and ratios that the diets provide. Allowing your fox to use its canine teeth to tear through the raw meat also helps the overall dental health of your fox. You may also feed your fox fruits and veggies. When formulating your own pet fox diet, you will want to make a balanced diet of raw meats, fruits, veggies, and the needed supplements. If you are going to feed them dog food or cat food, it is safe to check with your veterinarian to find out which ones are the best for foxes. If you are going to be feeding a wild fox or urban fox in your neighborhood, make sure to do research to find out which kinds of dog food and cat food are also safe for foxes. What do foxes in captivity eat? Foxes in captivity eat different diets depending on the types of foxes. Most sanctuaries and rescues that raise foxes use the same type of raw prey model diet that we have spoke about. Foxes that live in captivity live much longer lives than those in the wild, mostly because they get a proper diet where they are fed daily. Foxes in captivity also have access to exotic animal veterinarian assistance that monitors their health and gives advice on how to raise these exotic animals. That's it for now. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you would like to find out more about a full prey model diet, check the link in the description below.
All things foxes.